All right. So let's do updates and questions first. So, any questions about last week's lecture or the discussion boards or anything like that? Theories? Okay. How about let's talk about Fritz Perls and Gloria? Wasn't that different than Rogers and Gloria? Get just a little bit. All right. Well, I want to hear your response. Yeah, go ahead.
This off like, and think about it. I watched the video and I went through the comments and it was like, oh, he should be in this conversation. He should be this group. And I'm just like, yeah, sure.
No.
Like it doesn't seem like it worked. Like I'm sure it did work. I'm sure it will work in like multiple sessions, right?
Yeah.
Like in that initial video, it did not seem like it worked at all. It seemed like she was just
He would have pushed my buttons.
defensive. Well, she was defensive because he came out the back confrontational. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I also love that it's the opening sequence where he's like talking about this theory. He's literally smoking and like looking down.
There were a lot of cigarettes being smoked in that session.
It seems like a very good like representation of what was to come. I
Hmm.
guess it just seemed very like it just seems like he kind of doesn't really care.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? Anybody online have any comments? How would you like Fritz to be your therapist? What would your reaction be? Some people liked it. Yeah.
I think I'd be as defensive as she was if he was coming in with comments like that. Because he didn't even want her really defend herself. It was basically just as soon as he said something and she like made a remark, he basically went back and made something even harsher the second time he said it around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think my personality is not one to be as confrontational in return. So I don't
Uh,
know. I probably would have responded differently, but I definitely don't think I would have handled it well either. Like I definitely wouldn't have enjoyed it. I might have hit it just like at first she was hiding, and I think that was part of his coaxing to be like, get out of your shell. Although he like in my eyes, it's like he was trying to crack open an egg, but he grabbed the wrong hammer and like he smashed the egg and thought that would work. And it's just, I don't, yeah, that was, I don't think I would have taken it very well. I probably wouldn't have come back, but I just would have been,
yeah.
he's,
Yeah.
Because I found a quote like Gloria said, "I'm mad at you," and he replied with "wonderful."
Yeah.
Said wonderful.
But yeah, when she said, I'm mad at you, he said wonderful because he realized that her being angry was genuine. Yeah, that's why.
So, I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Like if she because she was mad, but if she was smiling and laughing and she says, I find this funny, he'd say wonderful as well, because it'd be genuine. But being phony, remember, that's what he wanted to point out, that sometimes she was phony and sometimes she was genuine, and he wanted her to see the difference. I just think, he could have gone about it in a different way. Yeah, Shelley.
Um, I, I can't hear everything everybody's saying, so I'm sorry if I repeat, but
Trying to repeat
you had
that.
you had asked if if we would have stayed, or I feel like I would have walked out in the first 30 seconds because again, he had no repertoire with her, he had no foundation built. And to me, I'm thinking, how could he have judged
Right.
whether she was being phony or not at all? And to me, it just sounded so insulting and condescending. I really had a hard time getting through I had to like force myself to continue obviously, to the pursuit of watching it to the end because it was just infuriating to me. And I thought I was really proud of her for a few times that she really stuck up for herself and she was very clear about her feelings, which I thought was very genuine. Where, some people, even her, I would have thought maybe she would have backed down from him. And she kept saying, I don't like this and I'm not being phony. And I'm telling you how I feel and I'm owning up to it. And it just felt
Phony
like he wasn't
baloney.
listening. Yeah, he just kept like poking the bear. And I was like, oh my goodness, you're not even listening to her. It was a really hard one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, because, you were empathizing, putting yourself in her place. Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing I guess overall is that I guess one thing you could say about him, and I could be wrong, but I think he never really lied about his intentions. Like he
No,
said
I
right
don't
out the
think he
gate,
lied,
like just about like how he was going to be rude. He was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be mean to
Yeah.
break the shell, and then he was like the entire time he always seemed like, yeah, this is just what I feel is best for you, and it was harsh, but
Yeah.
at least he wasn't fake about it himself. So he may not have been that hypocritical if we want to think on that side of things.
Well, yeah, he wasn't hypocritical. There's that. But what do you think? Like, okay, so he explained this process as him being an artist and to take, the real, genuine person out of, maybe like a block of marble or something, but he's not Da Vinci. So, I think that, I think Carl Rogers would have said that he would go back to the nurturing of like the nurturing a tree to grow, which is a very different, like he's not the expert, whereas Pearl saw himself as I'm the expert. I'm going to do what I think is right. Is a very different ego going on there. Yeah. Yeah.
Like with Roger, she was like essentially asking him to give him the answers, and then whenever she was in the session with Pearl, she was like, I want you to be more human. It seems like you think you know all the answers. I thought that was really interesting, just based on the two.
Yeah, she was asking Rogers for answers, but with Pearl, she's like, I want you to be more human. You act like you have all the answers. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So here's what I like doing. I like, beginning with Rogers in my sessions and carrying on Rogers' empathy and genuineness and acceptance and using a lot of Gestalt theory. But I don't have to act like Fritz Perls in order to use his theory. That's the difference. You don't have to be rude or condescending. You can be kind and nurturing and still use Gestalt theory. So there was one thing that a lot of people got mixed up on in the answer. A lot of people said, oh, in the beginning, she presented her problem as, wanting to talk with her 9-year-old about sexuality. But later on, we found that wasn't actually her problem. Her real problem was her father. No, it wasn't her father. Her father's not in the session. Any client's problem is themselves. So it's something about Gloria. So it's not about the dad, it's not about the mom, it's not about the daughter. Whoever comes to therapy, the problem's about them. So when you take this exam, problem's not about Sam's dad or Sam's mom or Sam's work. It's about Sam. So the problem, the underlying issue is that Gloria doesn't accept herself unconditionally with all of her flaws and imperfections that she can grow from. She doesn't deserve, as a result of that, she doesn't feel as though she deserves unconditional acceptance from others either. But it's really about herself. Now, yeah, her dad played into it when she was a kid. Now she's a mom. But that's not where the issue lies. The issue is not with her dad or with her daughter. She's internalized it. So when you take this exam, it's got 3 parts. The first part is basically the case history. That's the only time you're allowed to talk about the past, case history. The middle part is the session. It takes place in the present. It's about the client. It's not about the dad or the past or the mom. It's about the present. what's going on with the client now. We don't bring up the past in the session, at least not for the exam. And the third part is the treatment plan. That all takes place in the future. It's future planning, what's going to happen. So it's real easy to remember. It's hard to do. All right. Any other comments about pearls? All right. So, no questions about previous theories. We're going to go over the third theory tonight that's going to be on the exam, and then we're going to go over the exam.